He's still using it outside of law and outside of courts to go in. I was talking to one of my friends the other day who bought 2 semi-automatic rifles because they were on sale. I've done that before. And it's a great, by the way, investment. All my guns have gone up in price that I bought, 15 years ago. And he got an ATF FBI visit at his house. No criminal record. It's creating the idea that you're evil. And the ATF orders gun shops to do things that aren't even the law. That's what tyranny is. That's what martial law is. That's what dictatorship is. Well, I don't care if the if the House won't pass a law that we can put carbon taxes on coal power plants. I'm Obama. I'm just going to do it. But by the way, my friends are exempt. This is absolute criminal takeover. I mean, realize that. But I digress. And I won't have time to play the whole 9-minute video. It is propaganda that is unspeakable. I'm going to probably shoot a special report in the next few days where I just take excise pieces of this and really in a well-documented, slick way, show people what's happening instead of just up here talking about it, because words cannot describe how wicked and duplicitous this is. So, what did Hitler do? First, he goes after unpopular groups in Germany, Jews, gypsies, communists, and he takes their rights away in law, and people get behind it. Yeah, get them. Then he swung it around against Christians, against Protestants, against Seventh-day Adventists, you name it, against his competition in business, even fellow Nazis. They would rob their companies and send them off to a death camp. This is what they did. A lot of the French that helped the Nazis take over France, they got turned against. A lot of the Vichy did. So that's how this works. You first set something up with an unpopular group. And whether it's a good thing to make Muslims and Arabs unpopular or not, and obviously it's discrimination and stereotypical and wrong, it was acceptable to say these people are devils, nuke them, to call them horrible pejoratives, camel bleepers, rag bleepers, sand, N-words. That's all cute and funny on talk radio. Well, I don't think it is. Because even if you think Muslims are evil and bad and want to get you, at the end of the day, this was being beta tested on them to then be used against everybody else. And I told you from the FBI, federal marshal, state police in California, Missouri, state police in Florida, Texas, federal marshal sending me SLAT training, the videos, we've shown them here. We've done special reports on it, where they say, who are the #1 terrorists? Gun owners. Returning veterans, libertarians, in the fetters, Ron Paul supporters. I mean, I have the training manuals here. The Homeland Security, the MIAC reports. Remember this being in national news 2 years ago? Remember all this? Now, I told you, they've taken over the Middle East. They've invaded all the countries. They now are flipping over to work with al-Qaeda to overthrow Gaddafi, the Muslim Brotherhood to overthrow Mubarak. They're now shifting to a new phase. They're going to keep the Muslim demonization going, but it's now a dish that's cooked. They just put it on the back burner to keep it warm. And they've killed bin Laden in their staged event. They're now moving on to the next phase to, okay, we don't have a Bill of Rights. We spy on you. You have no rights. We can secretly arrest citizens under the John Warren Defense Authorization Act, Enemy Commissions Act. We can fly you to places to be tortured. We can secretly execute you. Obama's continuing it. Now the next phase, they've already been beta testing, behind closed doors with the police and military. Now they're moving it to white al-Qaeda. And in this video, they cut to, and every one of them were mentally ill patsies. It's been confirmed, even mainstream news admits, Jihad Jane and others, blue eyes, animating the blue eyes in the video to glow. Look, blue, blue, they're al-Qaeda. And it shows, at the beginning of this Homeland Security 9-minute video, a shot of family. Thinking about all that's good in America, nostalgia, on top of the piano, and 90+% of the photos of the American family, it's Hispanics, it's Asians, it's black people. So you see it instantly, and there's one white guy, but he's blurred in the background. So it's like, this is America. We are many people. And then it cuts to a black guy. He's professional. He's good in his suit. He's no longer being the stereotypically put down by the same media, same government as a gangbanger. He's going out in the parking garage, and he sees evil white guys getting ready to blow up the building, and he calls it in on them. And then the good white guys, the only good white guys in the whole thing, FBI, show up. And they stop the white al-Qaeda that's just everywhere. They're creating this false perception ahead of the private contractors that run the government, staging more of terror to take over society even more. So you won't be mad about going into austerity or having your Social Security taken or everything imploding and all the money going to the offshore banks. No. And then it just cuts to white al-Qaeda, blue-eyed women. They're going to get you. And then they mix in McVeigh. Of course, that was a staged event. They mix in all of this white. And it goes on and on and on and on. Now, remember, I've told you for 9 years, white al-Qaeda. I even said they're going to call it white al-Qaeda. I know them. I study them. I'm like a criminologist following a serial killer for decades. I know their next move. I'm on record. And it may even be they just grab the terms I come up with. Like I told you about propaganda placement and message placement and police state placement. Now they even use those terms. So I don't know if it's chicken or the egg, which one came first. But the point is, then about 6 years ago, white al-Qaeda, white al-Qaeda, white al-Qaeda, white al-Qaeda. Actually, now that I remember it, England started it 9 years ago, so I saw them do it first. I didn't actually predict that. I'm going back to memory now. So it started there. I knew it was coming here. So that's going on. Then I get the manuals from police going, yeah, this is what they're telling us. The rural council to spy on neighbors, everything else. I knew from manuals that came in and sources that all over the country, mainly rural areas, they'll say, we're having a meeting at the law enforcement center this weekend, free donuts and lunch. Anybody who's concerned about al-Qaeda and terror attacks, this happened right from 9/11 and since, we want you to come down to the meeting. And you get there, they show an al-Qaeda training video, and they say, okay, now let's get to McVeigh, let's get to Ron Paul supporters, let's get to gun owners, let's get to returning veterans. And most of the folks get upset and leave. They don't care. They find the people that want to be part of it. And I told you, they tried to recruit my dad, the other dentist he works with, not because he's my dad. They're doing it to any professionals, lawyers, any type of corporate CEO, even a small companies. They give them little cards. It's called InfraGard. They've recruited now over 100,000 preachers. And they tell them, spy on your flock, tell them submit to government, things are going to collapse. This has been going on for 6 years that we know of. The clergy response teams, just search that term. You'll see newscast after we reported it, admitting, oh, it's great. They're training to tell the flock to go to the camps. And it shows the preachers saying it's of the Lord to go to the camps. It's of the Lord to take the shots. Folks, I'm not joking. If you haven't seen us play that video here probably 20 times, just search clergy response teams on YouTube. You'll get it. It's also in Police State 4, Rise of FEMA, little clips of the news. And so they've got the entire grid set up, over 90% of the training with police and military together, under FBI command, under DHS command, and you go to these drills, or I've been sent photos of the drills and video and the roster of the drills. It's got to be more than 95%. It's all people wearing feed lot caps, dressed like rednecks, going, you're not taking my land. And then a bomb goes off, and they tell the police, the farmers attacked us. So they're scripting it and putting farmers in the role that they're terrorists. The cops play the role and are so weak-minded, they then now believe that farmers are going to blow them up. And so now it's okay with a heavy machine gun. They mow the farmers down. This was going on in 2002 at bases. I had contractors who were working at the base who shot video on top of the building they were retarring, and they would not let me show the video. They came up to access. They showed it to me, the Marines, at an Army base. And the people are like, no. And, of course, I shot some video myself at drills of similar things. We're Americans. Oh, no, please not the camp. And interrogating them and asking the role players, where'd you get the guns? Well, I got my gun in San Francisco. I mean, that's in Police State 2000. But these guys showed me footage, and I said, please let me show this. They said, we'll come back, maybe later, but they'll know we were contractors. And I said, I'll blow up the video where they can't tell you we're on the roof. And they said, no. We had to sign forms to be on the base. We can't do it. Then I got confirmed news articles where they train all the ROTCs around the country, including San Antonio, when they have drills in the local forest with the ROTC, the military, people in college to be officers, they always fight militias and anti-Federal Reserve people. So the entire, it's just like in the Cold War, the military trained to fight the Russians. For at least 10 years, the military trains to fight the Americans. Okay, I'm going to play some of this video. If you're a prisonplanet.tv viewer, you'll be able to see it. If not, go to Infowars.com. And the headline is, Big Sis tries to turn minorities against whites by labeling them terrorists. That's one of the articles. The other big article that's on Drudge is DHS video characterizes white Americans as most likely terrorists. And this is why I've always known that even if the government isn't staging the terror, and unfortunately the evidence is overwhelming, they are. It's ridiculous how much evidence there is. The entire architecture of Homeland Security, that, by the way, existed pre-9/11. You got documents with Clinton setting it up in Colorado in 1994 and speeches. Again, they always set something up before they roll it out years later. The key here is that they've set up the entire architecture and the training and the drills for the American people. I only know of one drill, and I know about it because I had some family involved, out at Camp Mabry a year ago, and the public was invited, where they had a guy with a Muslim turban on and the fake beard and practiced killing some terrorists with some helicopters over there. And that was just for the public. Oh, look, we're killing the Muslims. But you go to the real internal drills. It is kill those U.S. militias. Take them out. Remember New York Times a couple years ago? We showed you the article. It said Explorer Scouts nationwide, it showed photos, trained to kill disgruntled vets. It's for you. It's for you. Let's say Al-Qaeda did 9/11 just for laughs. Okay, fine. They've used it to set up a grid for the American people. And they're now telling minorities, who are the majority in most cities, hey, it's whitey, get him. And they're now rebranding that. So first they tell white racists, hey, give up your rights because it's only for the Muslims. Now they say, hey, give up your rights, blacks and Hispanics, it's for whitey. And when you're done, everybody loses their rights. This is how they compartmentalize and sell this. Let's play part of it. Some of it doesn't have audio, so I'll voice it while it rolls, where it cuts to the new America, non-white, the good people, and then it cuts to the evil whites. Here it is. Oh, look at the good Americans.
The United States of America is home to over 330 million people. We are a country known for freedom, justice, and opportunity.
9 out of 10 are not white in the photos.
The American dream draws people from across the globe, bringing different cultures, traditions, and ideas to the fabric of our great nation.
Well, there's a white guy, but he's only good because he's in the military.
At the same time, there are individuals in the United States who seek to carry out acts of terrorism and violence against our communities.
Look, a white guy. A white van. That's to invoke McVeigh. The good black guy, he recognizes the devil whitey. And it's also about being paranoid. Terrorists are everywhere. The black guy sees the white people. Oh, my gosh. They're in a white van. They're terrorists. He's going to call Homeland Security. Don't worry. And then it just cuts to evil white after evil white after evil white. And they say, whites are the #1 threat, which is what their own manuals say. Again, even the whiteys are with Al-Qaeda. Oh, more whiteys. He's hiding down in his seat. Oh, no, the whiteys. He's driving out of those were some scary whiteys. He calls Homeland Security, though. The good whites come.
Hello. Listen, I don't know if this is anything, but what I just saw looked really suspicious.
Oh.
Definitely out of the ordinary. I was in the parking lot.
All right, hit pause. We're going to come back with the rest of it. Oh, hey, I saw something out of the ordinary. I saw a U.S. government agent get a drugged-out black kid on the airplane in Amsterdam. Yeah, he didn't have a passport or anything, but they got him on the plane. Shut up, Mr. Haskell. We don't know anything about that. By the way, the firecracker blew up in his pants. I want to give you a report. Shut up, Mr. Haskell. Turned out it was all true. I want to report the government's the terrorist. Coming up in the next segment, I'm going to finish getting into the big news report. DHS video characterizes white Americans as most likely terrorists. And then we are going to open the phones up. They're not open yet, but I'm opening the phones up specifically. Do you see through this? See, first they say, get rid of America's liberties because, you know, it's brown folks we want to go after. And so a lot of whites go, yeah, I'm scared of brown people. Even if you're not racist, some whites are so guilt-ridden they're scared. And so, okay, well, we're just taking the Muslims' rights or the brown people rights. And then now that they've got that in place, okay, now they're going to shift it over. No, it's the whitey. He's going to get you to get the minorities after it. And this 9-minute video goes on and on. you know, where 90% of the photos of the good people are quote, minorities. You know, there's only a few whites, and then the black guys reporting on the white.